My name is Amaranta Ross. I was born in 1820. I later changed my name to Harriet Tubman. After finding out I was going to be sold, I ran away to become free. I wanted freedom for my family and my friends, which led me to establish my own underground railroad. I made 19 trips back to the South. I freed over 300 slaves, never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. It's better to live for a cause than just because. Thank you. Bye.
I was born in 1820 in Dorchester County, Maryland, USA. I was born into slavery. My name is Harriet Tubman. As a child, I received a head injury. Later down in life, I had to have a brain surgery to alleviate the headaches I was experiencing. I joined the Union Army as a nurse. I am an American-born woman who escaped from slavery in the South to become a leading emancipationist before the American Civil War. I led hundreds of enslaved people in the North along the route of the Underground Railroad, which is an elaborate secret network of safe houses organized for that purpose. Many books have been written about me, two of which are Heroes of History by Harriet Tubman, Freedom Bound by Janet and Geoff Bench and Harriet Tubman by Megan Callier. I am known in history as a Black hero emancipationist.
I was born into slavery. Incidentally, I escaped and made some 13 missions to free enslaved 70 persons, including family and friends, using the network of safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say what most conductors can't say, that is, I never ran my train off the rack, and I never lost a passenger. I was married to John Tubman from 1844 to 1951. Harriet Tubman, Black History Month.
Born into slavery in March of 1820. During my active lifetime, I became a political activist, a union spy, a nurse, a cook, and most importantly, I made 13 missions underground to free almost 300 slaves, both family and friends included, over an 11-year period. My birth name was Aramenta Ross, but after my good escape in 1849 to Philadelphia, and I left behind a world of physical and mental abuse, which my family and I suffered on that plantation, I changed my name to Harriet, my mother's first name. My parents were Benjamin Ross and Harriet Green. We were Methodists. I had 8 siblings. I was married twice to Mr. John Tubman and Mr. Nelson Davis. From the marriage of Nelson Davis, I had one daughter, Gertie Davis. I was considered the most famous conductor of the Underground Railroad. They nicknamed me Black Moses. I also played a very important part in the women's suffrage movement. One of my most favorite quotes was, "Farewell, old master. Don't think hard of me. I'm going to Canada where all slaves are free. Today, the U.S. Treasury Department announced that they would be replacing the former President Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill, and they would replace my picture on it. Philippians 4:13 states, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I am Harriet Tubman.
Friends, welcome to my story. I am Harriet Tubman. I was born in 1822. My whole family, they were slaves also. I was born in the US. And I must tell you, as a child, slavery to me meant that someone else owned you. That people can make you work very, very hard. That person could even sell you like a sack of potatoes. I didn't want to be a slave. I wanted to be free. In 1849, I traveled all night. I ran away from the South. I traveled in the dark. I trod through the woods. I followed the North Star. And some good people helped me to reach the North. Because on the North, there was no slavery there. And I was so happy to be free. I went back 13 times to the South. Why? I went back for my brothers, my sisters, my father, my mother, and other slaves. I traveled so many times, hiding at night, and I brought many, many slaves to freedom. In 1861, the North went to war with the South, and I became a cook, a nurse, and a spy. I even led troops to rescue more slaves. When the Civil War was over and all slaves were freed, I worked for the rights of women, all women. I also made a home for the poor black people. Friends, I was born a slave, but I became a proud, strong, free woman. I, Harriet Tubman, an American hero. I freed thousands of slaves and could have freed more if they only knew that they were slaves. Every great dream begins with a dreamer, and I am a dreamer. Yes, sir. I was tough and resilient to the very, very end. I, Harriet Tubman.
Good afternoon. My name is Harriet Tubman. I was born in 1820 on a plantation in Dorchester County, Maryland. My parents, Harriet Green and Benjamin Ross, named me Aramata Rose and called me Minty. I am an escaped, enslaved woman who became a conductor on the Underground Railroad, leading enslaved people to freedom before the Civil War, all while carrying a bounty on my head. But I was also a nurse, a Union spy, and a woman's suffrage supporter. I am one of the most recognized icons in American history, and my legacy has inspired countless people from every race and background.
My name is Harriet Tubman. I was born with the name Aramantha Moss. Later as a child, I changed my name to Harriet, like my mother. Tubman came from marriage to my first husband. So today, you'd all know me as Harriet Tubman. I was born into slavery. I don't even recall the year I was born, maybe around 1820 or 1821. When I was only about 8 years old, I was sent out on a mission, and I was severely injured by a 2-pound weight from an overseer who was throwing it at a runaway slave. I happened to be in the vicinity, and the 2-pound weight crushed my skull. I suffered daily from severe headaches and even seizures because of that accident that happened to me. I escaped slavery and went back on what was called the Underground Railroad as a conductor to rescue about 70 other slaves. This thought came into my mind when I heard that my niece was about to be auctioned off, and I couldn't allow that to happen. So that was the beginning of my 13 trips as an Underground Railroad conductor. I was even referred to my nickname as Moses. I would sing spiritual songs as codes to let other enslaved persons know that I was in the area and I came to help them. One of my most memorable and of course famous notable rescues was in South Carolina, along with Colonel James Montgomery. We rescued about 700 slaves. My mission has always been to help enslaved people become free. I am grateful to have served as a woman for the suffrage movement. I also worked as a nurse during the Civil War and as a spy and a scout. I am Harriet Tubman.